Hi, it's Shannon here. I'm from House Improvements, as you all know, but every now and again, if you watch my channel, you'll see that I do the odd RV related repair or even some other subjects as well. But in this video today, we are going to do RV repair. I've got a bumper pull camper. We've got this double window over the shower area. I think in most places they call it a skylight. And in my case, mine has cracked. These things deteriorate over time, or maybe you went through a hailstorm or something like that, and eventually you get a crack. I didn't realize mine had been leaking, and we went in there this spring to have a look and kind of get things ready for the season. And we had a bit of a mess in the shower, so on closer investigation, I came up here and I could see that there was just a slight crack. It's actually broken right at this bottom corner at the base. Now, those of you who watch regularly, you've seen me actually talk about resealing the roof, and we did a video on this exact area just about a year and a half ago, and this was not broken then, so it just broke through the winter here likely, and you know, I didn't realize. So then we had a lot of rain early in the spring, and it was getting down through this crack and inside the shower. So we, as you can see, if I back up here a little bit, we don't normally use our tub or our shower in our camper. We usually use the ones provided by whatever campground we're at. So we've used this space a lot more for storage than we have actually showering or anything. But anyways, when we came in this spring, I seen, you know, all this dirt and mess, and I was trying to figure out where that came from. Did it bubble up through the drain somehow or what? And then I realized I could see some marks on the back wall here where this same grimy water had washed down. So anyways, this is the inside, if I can get it. This is the inside lens here, and it's fine. It's got some condensation in there that'll have to dry out. And hopefully when we get the top one off, we'll actually see that there's hopefully no damage in the ceiling or anything, but I just don't know how long it was leaking. But anyways, we'll get that top one off and get it replaced. So now what we are replacing this with, I don't actually know what these old ones are made out of. This new one, let's see, I got it from Icon, is the company that I ordered it through on Amazon. I'll put a link on our affiliate link on, you know, under the description of this video. I believe this is Lexon, so it should be a little bit more sturdy and hopefully stand up to the sun a little bit longer. Now, as far as I know, this skylight has never been changed on this camper. This camper's 2012, and we're filming this in 2024. So, or yeah, 2024. So I mean, it's gone 12 years. I guess that's good. I really don't know. I've never had one of these actually fail. They've always looked like this because we've always had campers that are a number of years old, but they've always kind of yellowed and you know, looked brittle from the sun. Now this new one I got here, it's got a little bit of a smoked finish to it. I thought that might, you know, maybe reduce some of the heat we get in that bathroom from the sun shining through. I imagine this one used to be clear originally, and you can get some that are more of a whitish covering, but still lets some light through. So anyways, to get started, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean the area a little bit first. And I'm going to first just try just a wet rag. I just want to get a few inches of the roof clean around the perimeter. The reason I'm doing it kind of ahead of time is so that has some time to dry before I'm doing my caulking, because I want to get this all done in one shot. Now for caulking, in my other videos, you've seen me use this product before from Dicore. As far as I'm concerned, this is the only product to use on an RV roof. You don't want to use just a normal silicone or caulking or anything for sure. There are some other brands out there. I'm not sponsored by this guy that kind of looks like Mike Holmes on there. I don't know. Kind of does to me, but anyways, I'm not sponsored by them. That's just the product I buy. You can buy that on Amazon. Maybe I'll throw a link for that up there too. I found it locally, less expensive, so I bought my tubes locally. And I had some here kicking around that was just on hand from other projects. So I'm just going to go around and clean this off first. Now, as you've seen in my other video dealing with this Dicore, you can use just any kind of brake cleaner. Will also do a pretty nice job of cleaning that up. I normally wouldn't recommend getting the brake cleaner on the lens of well, obviously the new Skylight that you're putting in. Getting on the old one is going to make no difference because we're tossing it out, but I'm just trying to get everything clean so when I do my new coating of the Dicore, it has as clean a surface as I can get to bond to. So the soap and water didn't quite get me as clean as I'd like to be, because I'm going to be sealing against some of this old seam back here. So I'm just going to try to get her cleaned up a little better. This is going to be basically sealed down with the Dicore or whatever products on your camper all the way around. Under that Dicore, if you can see on this old one, or this new one here, I don't want to lose all my tubes here. You can see on the new one, there's holes around the perimeter. And we're going to find the same thing on the old one, that there's going to be some holes with screws in it. First thing I want to do is just see if I can expose some of them. Now I want to be careful, obviously, not to slip and damage my roof or anything else. But I'm probably going to have to be a little bit aggressive, because this stuff's sticks pretty good. Okay, actually I've got one screw kind of partially exposed here already. I'm just going to go around this bar. My good old red bar. Put a link for that also down below. You've seen me use these things a million times. That's why I started out trying, and it's doing a pretty good job. So I'm going to go around, peel up this old caulking, and get all these screws exposed so we can get this old one out of here. It's actually doing a nice job. It's coming off easier than I thought it would. This bar just is able to scrape right along there. I guess I don't have to be too particular on getting it off here, as long as I get the screws exposed and the edge of the old Skylight exposed. So we'll just try to find where the edge of that is. It's doing all right. This is my edge. So those screws are pretty close to the edge, actually closer than those ones are. I guess also important thing to make sure, there is a couple different sizes of these Skylights, so just make sure that before you start digging your old one off, that the new one is the size that you need before you get going too far. This stuff's pretty sticky, it's unreal. But it is coming off. Well, you can see there's quite a few screws. They're probably about every 2.5 inches. So it's well secured. Plus this stuff over top. Between the screws holding it down and the caulking, sealing it down. It's on there pretty good. Okay. I think they're in not too bad a shape. So they used, I don't know, about a 1-inch number 8 screw is what they used. Now my new Skylight didn't come with screws, and I was hoping I could maybe reuse these, but I'm not sure if I will. I think I might just see if I have some appropriate length screws. That one there is kind of stripped out, so we'll see. Probably could reuse these. Other than that one, they're coming out fine, even though there's some of that caulking in the head of the screw. I'll kind of save them over here just in case I don't have anything on hand that's the right length. So there's a few there that are stripped, and that might cause me a little bit of problems, so we'll see if I can, come on, sticky stuff, see if I can MacGyver them out. Get the bar kind of under the edge and get a little pressure on. That one doesn't want to. That one came out. That one came out. So a couple came out, a couple didn't. So I'm not just sure what will happen, but we'll just try now to get under this edge of this old Skylight and see if we can get it to come up without too much problem. It's coming, but it's stuck down pretty good. Actually, this, well, I know that crack wasn't there before we started, but this crack was quite a ways along the back, so its days were numbered for sure. Unfortunately, it wasn't showing up last year when I resealed all this, or I would have just changed it then. Okay. Now there's a bead of mastic around there that it's sitting down on, and that's sticking really well too. And it's still very pliable, the old mastic. I'm just trying not to damage this camper's got a rubber roof, so I'm trying not to do any actual damage to the roof. I don't think I have yet. So the last thing we want to do is fix one leak and create another one. Holy man, that's on there. Coming around to one of those screws that we have trouble with. Let's see if it'll come out. I think it's going to come out, yeah. Came out of there now. So I'm trying to peel it, but yet hold the rubber roof down too. Boy, that stuff's getting all over me. We're over to another screw over here. Oh yeah, it's just pulling out. That's all right. start come away. So this was definitely getting pretty brittle. If it didn't break this year, it was going to break next. So it's a good thing we're changing it. Lots of condensation up in there. Phew. Well, this is the inside lens that you see from inside. We had a look at it when we were inside there. So that's what you're seeing from the inside. And I can see that the reason that water that leaked in got so dirty is, you know, there's some dust and grime up in here, and obviously that just washed down into the inside once the water got in from the top. Come on. Definitely more of the work is in getting this off of the roof than getting the screws uncovered, which I thought they were going to be the tougher part. But it's coming. I'm trying not to lean or anything on this lens because it's still all right. Okay, we got all that old lens off. There's definitely some moisture in here still. So I'm going to try to dry that up. Get rid of some of this dirt over here. This is, you can see this is the edge of the rubber roof material inside there. And that lens looks pretty nice because you can get replacement lenses for this inside too, but this one looks alright. Looks like there's a screw here that may be pulled through that I didn't notice. Same type of screw, so I must have missed that one. Okay. Now, because this roof has probably been resealed, you know, a couple, 3 times in its lifetime, you're getting a pretty thick edge here of the old Dicore. This is the mastic that was underneath the lens, Skylight lens, and this is the Dicore here. I'm just going to see if that will come off a little more, just to thin it down a bit. I'm going to try my knife, but again, you got to be careful not to get down to the roof. I just thought if I could get some of these layers off, it just won't be as much of a build up there to deal with. I'm trying not to slip, obviously. But yeah, that's kind of scraping off, so I'm going to work away at trying to get some of this outer lip, this edge out here, some of it scraped down. To be more flush with that mastic, because I think I'm going to stick the old window right back on there. I'll put a bead of Dicore around there. But this mastic is nice and sticky, it's nice and pliable. I see no reason to change it. So I don't think I will. My original plan was not to use mastic anyways. I was just going to use the Dicore because it stays flexible, as you can see. That's what all this is. It's flexible and rubbery. So I was going to use it for the seal, but I think that mastic is stuck well enough still that I'm going to use a combination of it and the Dicore. to make the seal. Just trying to see what'll work best here, cutting, scraping. I just don't like the cutting. I'm afraid of slipping with that sharp blade, and even more so than I am about slipping with this. Here, I feel like I have a little bit more control with this maybe. It's just going to take a little bit of time, so I'll get her off. Okay, so I've got that about as good as it's going to get. Just go around and dry up any of that moisture again that was there. And item not refundable if film removed. Well, I guess there's no going back after this point. I'm going to kind of leave the film on the top if I can, just because my hands are kind of sticky and maybe I'll mess it up a little less. With a bit of film on there as protection. I'll just peel it back off the edges and lay it down on the old mastic bed there just to make sure everything's going to be all right. And I can kind of see where I've got to run my bead of Dicore. Now I've got self-leveling and I've got non-leveling, non-sag. And I think I'm going to use the non-leveling under there because it won't level on its own, but I should be able to push it flat. This is an old tube, so I'm not sure. See if it'll come out of there again. Come on, guys, gotta just stay there and cooperate. Okay, so we'll set this out of the way. See if this existing tube that I had will pump anything out. I'm going to put a nice generous bead approximately where the screw holes were. So I've got a nice bead out of that. I used up that. Non-leveling is right here. I see some moisture over here. Still there. Okay. Seen a couple little cracks here between the mastic and the old bead. I'm just going to fill those in right now. They're probably half under the edge and half not, so I just want to be sure I'm getting anything that might allow water in. We've got to go over all this again anyways. Okay, so let's see. Now I'm going to carefully set this down into that again. And press it down into that bead I just did there. Oh yeah, that's making a real nice. Just see if you can see this when I push it down. You can see how that just making nice contact there. And I've got the new Dicore squeezing up through the screw holes. So that's good. That's going to make sure those are nice and sealed up. I think I can go ahead and let's try these old screws. Let's see what happens. Got it sitting on there nice. I don't think it's touching anywhere. Not touching that other lens back underneath there. So I think we're all right. Oh yeah, those suck that down just fine. Now some of them got quite a bit of caulking in the head, so may not be able to use them all, but I can probably use a good majority of these. You can see that Dicore squeeze out of there as you tighten things up. So we know we got good coverage. And my screws so far they're not stripping out, so they're not lining up with the old holes, which is good. If they are, I mean, it'd be a miracle for one thing, but if there was the odd one, there isn't too much you can really do about it. I wouldn't drill new holes or anything in the new cover, new Skylight. And I'm not like super tightening this. I don't want to dare crack it. I'm just snugging it up. You can kind of see it goes down pretty easy. You could use a screwdriver if you just weren't sure. You know, if you weren't just sure how much torque you're putting on it with your drill. I'm glad I left that film on too, because I'm kind of leaning over. I've got a bit of Dicore on my hands, and who knows, probably on my arms, so this way I'm not getting it on the new lens, hopefully. It's kind of looking like there was more screws in the old one than there was this one, because I'm going to be left with probably 3 or so left over. And I'm left with about 5 left over, actually. Okay. I'm super happy with that. So I'm just looking around. I'm just making sure I've got, no areas where the lens isn't contacting the Dicore. And I can see that pretty easily. So I'm really happy with that, what I've got going on there. And what I'm going to do now is I just want to kind of tool that Dicore that squeezed out around there. And I didn't actually bring anything with me to do that. Here's that piece of duct tape. I could probably use that just so I'm not getting it all over my fingers. And I don't care if it goes up over top onto the lens, right? Because we're going to go around and cover all those screws after anyways. I'm just kind of smoothing that out. Remember, this is the non-self-leveling, non-sag product. And I'm just kind of trying to make sure with what squeezed out there, I can basically get a seal under the edge of the lens to the old surface. Is really what I'm doing there. I'm just kind of looking for gaps and cracks and making sure that haven't left any voids. It's going to take a few coats anyways, but if you make sure you don't look like you left any voids on every coat, you should be awfully darn good with the whole finished product. Okay, so I'm going to take and put a dab on every screw. Just make sure they're well covered. No little air bubbles. This is the non-sag one. I could have used the other one too, that self-levels. I kind of want to build this up a little bit, making sure there's some good coverage on each screw head. I'm honestly not too worried about pretty up here. Who's going to see it? Pretty sure my wife isn't coming up here anytime soon. And I'd rather have a good seal than having this look beautiful. So I'm not sure exactly how long this has taken so far, but I would expect you're going to spend an hour at least once you're all set up and got all your stuff ready. I think you could easily spend an hour. I happen to have a big enough shop. I pulled inside the shop just to get out of the sun. And this stuff takes, they say, several days. I don't know if it actually gives an exact amount of days to cure fully. So my hope is I can leave it in the shop here for 2 or 3 days. We're heading out camping here. Not too long a time, but if I can leave it in here where it's not getting any rain or direct sun, that'll give this a chance to cure well and get all set up. So I think at this point I'm going to just kind of let this sit. If I try to tool the leveling, the self-leveling stuff over top of it, I think I'm going to have trouble with just making a mess. So I think I'll let this actually sit. I just seen a spot here where it looked like I didn't have enough. I'm going to let that sit, kind of skim over for, I don't know, 3-4 hours, and I'll come back and show you how I finished it up. Okay, so I'm back having a look at this new lens that we put on here, Skylight. And just before I go back to putting self-leveling on here, I just want to mention that I had said earlier in the video that I thought this was a Lexon product, but it is not. I had a closer look at the box and it says it's polycarbonate, so probably the same thing that the original one was. So anyways, it is what it is. Now I just want to go around and put a good covering of the self-leveling Dicore around the whole thing, and I'll probably do 2 or 3 passes kind of beside each other, and they'll all meld together and get everything sealed up nice. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, so I kind of did that half. Just checking for any little voids. And that'll kind of all flatten down, and we'll go around this other side. Again, just looking for any little voids or air bubbles or anything like that. Just kind of making sure they're all good. that's going to be pretty nice. All right, so you can see it's already kind of doing its thing and leveling out. I'll bring the camera down here to have a little better look. There's a spot here. Got a little bit of an air bubble. Pull off this protective layer. Okay, I'm really happy with that. It's obviously going to be way better than the cracked one. And I don't know, maybe in a couple, 3 years, we'll come back and look at this and just see what the weather's done to it and how it's holding up. But for right now, I'm pretty happy. That self-leveling Dicore is just going to do its thing and kind of level out and smooth out even more than it is now. And like I said, it kind of says give it a few days to fully cure. It doesn't really specify, probably all depends on temperature and everything. I'm leaving it inside the building here for a couple days before it even goes outside, so it won't get any rain on it or anything. If you got to leave it outside and rain is threatening, I would maybe just cover this area up if you can. Try to slope the trailer away so that water's running away from this off the roof instead of towards it, and give it a couple days to cure. All right, thanks a lot for watching House Improvements. Please click the thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. And you're going to want to go and check out all our other stuff, and as well as our forum. We have a great forum, a lot of helpful people there, including myself every day. So if you've got some problems with some project you've got going on, or just some questions before you start a project, just shoot us a line in the forum and we can try to answer your questions as best we can. All right, talk to you later.